later today regarding the deportation of 104 illegal Indian immigrants from the US. Now, the Indian government has taken note of the incident. The government is also considering a new law, the Overseas Mobility Bill 2024, aimed at establishing a framework, in fact, for the safety of Indian migrants. Meanwhile, a panel headed by Shashi Tharoor has presented a report on the issue, highlighting the need for better protection and support for Indian migrants abroad. The government's response to the deportation incident and the proposed new law are expected to be addressed in Jaishankar's statement in Parliament later today. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's ancestral home in Dhaka was vandalized and set on fire, in fact, by a large group of protesters during a live online address by his daughter and the former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. The incident occurred on the 5th of February 2025, with thousands of people rallying in front of the house, which has been turned into a memorial museum. The protesters damaged the mural of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman on the building's boundary wall and wrote, "There won't be 32 anymore," before setting the house on fire. This is not the first time, let us remind you, the house has been attacked. It was previously set on fire on the 5th of August last year when Sheikh Hasina's nearly 16-year Awami League regime was toppled and she fled to India. Here's a report by my colleague Saurabh.
An evening of chaos and anarchy on the streets of Dhaka. 32 Dhanmondi attacked. This, of course, used to be the home of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the founding father of Bangladesh as a country. Now, elements that seem to be determined to completely dismantle the legacy of the man who was responsible for creating the nation of Bangladesh, having fought the Pakistani military that was committing atrocities alongside the Indian army and finally liberated the country to form Bangladesh, now seems to be under attack from the same country's people, or at least a section of people who seem to be radical elements, extremist elements. The home was attacked while former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina was scheduled to deliver a speech, and of course this was called a bulldozer procession. The intent being very clear that they wanted, of course, to vandalize, destroy this property which had been turned into a museum in memory, in tribute of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Now, earlier Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina last year had to flee her country. This was when a revolution took place. But since then, extremist elements, radical elements have had almost a free run in Bangladesh. Even yesterday, when this attack took place, there was very little action by the police or law enforcement. In a sense, a free run was allowed. This property was attacked. And this is, of course, significant of the larger situation in Bangladesh, where minorities continue to come under attack, especially the Hindu community, and also the legacy of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman is also being systematically dismantled by certain radical elements, extremist elements, under the garb of protesters who seem to be fighting fighting fascism, as they say, that existed under the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's rule. They say there were atrocities during Sheikh Hasina's rule. They allege that there were attacks, targeted disappearances, etc., and they will not allow that. However, they are now targeting the legacy of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina is the daughter of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and this is not the first time that 32 Dhanmondi has seen violence. It has seen violence in the past. It has seen violence earlier last year, and it has seen significant violence in the past as well. So obviously, yet another example of anarchy and chaos on the streets of Dhaka.
United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio has said he will skip the Group of 20 talks in South Africa amid an escalating spat between Washington and Pretoria over a controversial land expropriation law. Now, Rubio's announcement on Wednesday came days after US President Donald Trump, in fact, threatened to cut aid to South Africa over its passage of legislation allowing the seizure of land without compensation in certain circumstances. Now, South Africa, which holds the G20 presidency until November this year, is set to host a meeting of foreign ministers from the 20th of February to the 21st of February in Johannesburg. Rubio said in a post on X, and I quote, that South Africa is doing very bad things, expropriating private property, using G20 to promote solidarity, equality and sustainability. He also said M-job is to advance America's national interests, not waste taxpayer money or coddle anti-Americanism. US President Donald Trump signed an executive order on Wednesday seeking to ban transgender athletes from participating in women's sports, in his latest move targeting transgender people since returning to office earlier in January. Trump, in fact, signed the order at the White House, surrounded by dozens of children and female athletes. The order gives government agencies authority to deny federal funds to schools which allow transgender athletes to compete on women's teams. He also said he would be pushing the International Olympic Committee, in fact, to change its rules on transgender athletes before the Games return to American soil in 2028 in Los Angeles. US President Donald Trump has made a surprising announcement that the country would take over the Gaza Strip. The statement has come amidst the ongoing Israel-Hamas conflict and a recent ceasefire agreement. While the details of Trump's plan are unclear, his statement has sparked concerns about the potential implications of US involvement in the region. The Gaza Strip has been a focal point of tensions between Israel and Hamas, with numerous conflicts and humanitarian crises occurring over the years. Here's a report by my colleague Samia.
US President Donald Trump is facing global outrage after announcing plans to take control of war-torn Gaza, relocate Palestinians elsewhere, and turn the Strip into the Riviera of the Middle East. Turkey slammed the idea as unacceptable. France warned it could destabilize the region. Meanwhile, Russia, China, Germany, Spain, Ireland, and the UK reaffirmed support for a two-state solution.
We've always been clear in our belief that we must see two states. We must see Palestinians able to live and prosper in their homelands, in Gaza, in the West Bank. That is what we want to get to, and that is why it's important that we move out of phase one of this hostage deal to phase two, and then to phase three, and reconstructing Gaza.
Australian Prime Minister echoed the stance, saying his country also continues to support a two-state solution.
What I would say is that Australia's position is the same as it was this morning, as it was last year, and it was 10 years ago, and it was under the Howard government. The Australian government support, on a bipartisan basis, a two-state solution in the Middle East.
In Gaza, Palestinians outright rejected Trump's proposal.
تصريحات ترامب هذه شيء مش منطقي. كيف احنا عشنا الحرب سنة وأربع شهور وفي الآخر يجي هو يعطي تصريحات وإن احنا نطلع منها من أرضنا، هذه أرضنا وأرض أجدادنا، فصعب نطلع منها، أو هو يجيب سكان تانيين آخرين يسكنوا فيها. فلا الإشي هذا بإذن رب العالمين مش حيصير ومش حنطلع من بلادنا ومن أرضنا.
Meanwhile, some Israelis welcomed Trump's proposal for the US to take control of the Gaza Strip. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu praised the plan, saying it had the potential to change history, a sentiment shared by many Israeli residents.
בתור מי ששירת 8 חודשים בעזה במילואים האחרונים, אני חושב שצריך באופן חד משמעית להסכים עם התוכנית של טראמפ, לפנות את כל הערבים שם, לבנות שם שטח אחר. כל דבר שהוא אחר חוץ ממה שיש היום שם, לשקם את המקום הזה, ומה שיקרה מאז זה אלוהים גדול. אבל מה שבטוח, לתאר את המקום הזה פעם אחת זה מצוין לפי דעתי.
As global outrage over Trump's plan intensifies and Palestinian resistance holds firm, the future of Trump's plan remains uncertain. With Samia Afsar, Gargi Rawat for NDTV.
Demonstrators gathered in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday as part of a nationwide protest against the Trump administration's early actions. The protest outside the US Capitol is one of a series organized, in fact, by an online movement dubbed 50501, which stands for 50 protests, 50 states, one day. Protesters aim to push back against a number of measures, in fact, being put into place by the administration of President Donald Trump, which they say violate federal law and US Constitution, such as attempts to essentially dismantle the US Agency for International Development, or USAID. Affected USAID workers were among the demonstrators. President Trump has signed a memorandum reimposing maximum pressure on Iran, aiming to deny the country a nuclear weapon and counter its malign influence. Now, the move is part of a broader effort to ramp up maximum economic pressure on the country. In response, Tehran has dismissed Trump's order as a quote-unquote failed experience. The country's currency, the rial, has in fact dropped to a record low of 850,000 rials per $1 US. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has instructed his administration to either alter or cancel the sanction waivers for the Chabahar port project, a decision that could hinder India's connectivity initiatives with the Central Asian country. It was in November 2018 that India received a sanction waiver for the port project from Trump during his first term. Now, ahead of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's potential White House visit that could happen as early as next week, Trump has ordered his administration to apply maximum pressure on Iran to end its nuclear threat, curtail its ballistic missile program, and stop its support for terrorist groups. US President Donald Trump is set to unveil his Ukraine peace plan next week. Now, this is according to Western media. The proposal is expected to, in fact, be presented at the Bavarian conference, where Trump will likely outline his strategy for ending the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine. After a suspension lasting over 2 months, the Bangladesh Assistant High Commissioner in Agartala has resumed accepting visa applications as of Wednesday this week. Now, the move has been warmly received by numerous individuals eager to visit the neighboring Bangladesh for various purposes, including reuniting with relatives. The suspension of visa and consular services was initiated upon quote-unquote a security situation on the 3rd of December last year, following a security breach at the mission a day ago. And according to reports, Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla, who is also part of Donald Trump's administration in the US now, is likely to call on Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi during the latter's visit to the US next week. Now, PM Modi is expected to be in the US from the 12th to the 14th February after an invitation from US President Donald Trump. Musk is likely, in fact, also to be a part of a select group of CEOs who will meet PM Modi on the 13th of February. Musk has had plans to take Tesla cars into the Indian market for a few years now. It's time we slip into a short break now. I'll see you on the other side.
Health isn't someday in the future. It's now. It's same-day GP appointments. Physio without GP referrals. Cancer testing, scans, and diagnosis fast. Questions for an expert at any hour about anything. Routine dental checkups every year for brighter smiles. Support that lasts for as long as it takes. Feeling your best every day starts today. Call or go online now for your quote.
We know travel can be confusing, so let us inspire you. Welcome to Qatar. Experience it all. World-class hospitality, diverse landscapes from city to sea, and fly there with the Airline of the Year 2022, Qatar Airways. Book now at travelup.com or call 0207 580 5000. Travelup, flights, hotels, holidays.
Family life. It's made of ups and downs, and those little moments. But should the unthinkable happen to you? Life insurance from Legal & General can help look after monthly bills, the roof over their heads, childcare costs, and most importantly, your family. Because no one protects more families in the UK than us. Premiums start from £5 a month and they never rise. Plus there's a £120 gift card after you apply. Legal in general. Ensure life goes on.
Who doesn't love a good deal?
Meal deals.
Be rude not to deals. Seal deals? Or a bit of deal or no deal? We've got free-to-play deals with no deposit required. And up to £1,000 to be won every day. Get that good deal feeling only at Tombola.
When Tony passed, we wanted to celebrate him his way. All he ever spoke about was bite this, bite that. I'll never forget our first date. Huge grin on his face as he rode up on that big noisy thing. And that's exactly the way he'd want to be remembered.
At Co-op Funeral Care, we know everyone is different. That's why we offer funeral plans to funeral services that are personal, every step of the way.
Discover the finest quality made-to-measure window dressings, exclusively online, delivered direct to your door. Shop now for an extra 20% off and free delivery at blindsdirect.co.uk.
Don't you have Watchdog Lock? No! What's that? Don't be a victim, yeah. Get Watchdogs 3-star solid secure diamond locks. They are anti-pick, anti-snap, anti-bow. बोले तो fully anti-चोर. जब तक जोड़ेंगे नहीं, तब तक छोड़ेंगे.
Déjà moitié.
Welcome back. You're watching The World Report with me, Arjun Mahendran. China's retaliatory tariffs on the United States may very well cause US oil exports to decline in 2025 for the first time since the COVID-19 pandemic, after growth plateaued last year. Exports of US crude have surged more than 10 times since it lifted a 40-year federal ban on the export of domestic oil back in 2015. Now, that has helped the US become the world's third largest exporter, in fact, behind Saudi Arabia and Russia, blunting the global impact of production cuts by the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries and its allies. According to reports, the European Central Bank hopes US President Donald Trump's plan to support cryptocurrencies pledged to the US dollar will speed up legislative backing for the digital euro plan. The ECB has presented its digital currency, essentially an online wallet guaranteed by the central bank, in part as an electronic means of payment that does not rely, yes, that's right, it does not rely on dominant US providers such as Visa and PayPal. Meanwhile, Qualcomm on Wednesday forecast sales and profits above analyst expectations as artificial intelligence features helped fuel demand for smartphones, and its share price fell after the bell on expectations of flat revenue from its patent licensing business. For its current fiscal second quarter, Qualcomm forecast a sales range with a midpoint of $10.75 billion and adjusted profits of $2.80 per share. Now, these both are above analyst estimates of sales of $10.34 billion and adjusted profits of $2.69 per share. This is according to the data from LSEG. Meanwhile, Alphabet's Google is scrapping its goal to hire more employees from underrepresented groups and is in fact reviewing some of its diversity, equity and inclusion, or DEI, initiatives, joining a slew of US businesses scaling back diversity initiatives. According to reports, Fiona Ciccioni, Alphabet's Chief People's Officer, said in an email to staff on Wednesday, and I quote here, "In 2020, we set an aspirational hiring goals and focused on growing our offices outside California and New York to rather improve representation." South Korea's industry ministry has temporarily blocked employee access to Chinese artificial intelligence startup DeepSeek. Now, this is due to security concerns, a ministry official said on Wednesday, as the government urges caution on generative AI services. Reports added that the government issued a notice on Tuesday calling for ministries and agencies, in fact, to exercise caution about using AI services, including DeepSeek and ChatGPT, at work. England captain Joss Buttler won the toss and opted to bat in the first ODI against India at Nagpur's Vidarbha Cricket Association Stadium. Harshit Rana and Yashasvi Jaiswal were handed their ODI debuts in the series opener. On the other hand, Indian legend Virat Kohli missed out from being figured in the playing 11 owing to an injury. Neymar took powerful shots from the edge of the box and ran above his own expectations in 52 minutes on the pitch for Santos on Wednesday in his first game, in fact, for the Brazilian club since his return last week. Now, the 33-year-old striker wasn't able to cap his night at Via Belirmo Stadium with a win on his birthday. Santos drew 1-1 with Botafogo Ribeirão Preto, a team fighting relegation in the Sao Paulo State Championship. He replaced Gabriel Bontempo after the break and was immediately the center of attraction. In the second half, he became the most fouled player with 5 challenges from rivals. Neymar also took 6 shots on the goal. That's right, he took 6 shots on goal and gave 22 passes, some as sharp as those in his prime. Saudi club Al Hilal terminated his contract by mutual consent only last week, 6 months early after he played only 7 matches since September 2023. The ACL injury sidelined him for a year until October 24. Denis Shapovalov defeated Serb Milomir Kecmankov 6-3, 6-7, 6-3 to advance into the second round of the ATP 500 Dallas Open on Wednesday. Meanwhile, world number 54 Shapovalov will face the top seed Taylor Fritz in the next round.
Two sets of 1, 6-3, 6-7, 6-3.
Now, Disney easily topped first quarter expectations thanks in part to the box office success of Moana 2. The Walt Disney Co. earned $2.55 billion or $1.4 per share for the period ended 28 December. The Burbank, California-based company earned $1.91 billion or $1.04 per share in the prior year period. Stripping out certain items, earnings were $1.76 per share. This topped the $1.44 per share that analysts surveyed by Zacks Investment Research anticipated. A new docuseries on Apple TV Plus offers an intimate look at what it was like to fight the Vietnam War and be a part of that era. From soldiers in battle to journalists exposing truths, to even protesters marching in the streets, Vietnam, the war that changed America, tells their stories through archival footage. Narrated by actor Ethan Hawke, the filmmaker Caroline Marston docuseries commemorates the 50th anniversary of the end of the war and the fall of the Saigon with testimonials from people who lived it and from soldiers to nurses to Vietnamese families. Much of the film is from 1,100 hours of home movies and archive video, some never even seen before. And Marston and her team worked hard to track down people in the footage, to interview them, in fact, about their experiences. UK's Royal Mail is releasing a special set of stamps celebrating legendary rock band AC/DC. Now, 50 years on from the release of their groundbreaking debut album, High Voltage, the The Australian Rockers will be honoured with a set of 12 stamps. The main set of 8 stamps captures some of their most iconic live performances, while a further 4 stamps presented in a miniature sheet feature the covers, in fact, of the 4 iconic AC/DC studio albums: High Voltage, Highway to Hell, Back in Black and Power Up. Well, that's all we have for you today. Take care and have a wonderful day.
Whatever you need to ask about cancer, Macmillan's free support line is just a call away.
Hello, Macmillan.
Whether it's money,
Am I going to lose my job?
getting on with life,
Can I still go abroad? Get insurance?
or just need someone to listen,
How do I tell them?
our specialist advisors are here to help as often as you need them. Whatever you need to ask, cancer, money, life, call us now on 0808 134 1000.
Add light and a touch of style to your home with Luma Lantern from JML. The light and motion-activated solar-powered lantern light. Just peel and stick for easy installation. The built-in solar panel charges it during the day and it automatically switches on at night, then turns off when it's light. Choose from 3 different brightness settings for the perfect hassle-free lighting this winter with Luma Lantern. Only $14.99 from Asda, Dunelm, Morrison's, Tesco and jmldirect.com.
With retirement round the corner, I want to spend more time with my family, which reminds me.
Welcome to British Seniors, the UK's #1 rated provider of over 50s life insurance. We're proud to offer our seniors lifetime guarantee. With 100% of claims having been paid, we guarantee your premiums will never go up and that you'll speak to one of our specialists in the UK. Plus, when you sign up, you'll receive a £135 gift card.
Be proud to protect your loved ones with British Seniors. To get a free quote today, call our UK team or visit britishseniors.co.uk.
Lucky me.
It's all good. You have a Tucson. So you can enjoy quiet driving with electric mode. The new Hyundai Tucson plug-in hybrid. 0% APR and 24-hour test drive now available.
Sometimes it's the little things that remind us of them. Stay close, even when you're far apart. Send money worldwide with Remitly.
Someone's happy. Get that lucky cow feeling with luckycowbingo.com/bingo, the site that's bursting with beautiful bingo games. 75 ball bingo, even 90 ball bingo. Fill your bingo boots today. Get that lucky cow feeling at luckycowbingo.com/bingo or download the Lucky Cow Android app from the Play Store.
These 104 or others who are in detention. In many cases, sir, consular access, embassy would like to have consular access to any Indian national, but that national has to request consular access. In many cases, they have not requested, so we were not aware. But in every case, we have obtained passport details, we have checked their verification, we have ensured that they are Indians, and we have had contacts to ensure that that is the case. Then, sir, there is the next issue. After their return, are we making an effort, which Honorable Member Tirchi Siva asked? Are we making an effort? Yes. In fact, that is why the authorities have been given instructions, and I would urge Honorable Member Sanjay Singh not to misrepresent that instruction. They have been given instruction to sit with every one of the returnees, find out how did they go to America? Who was the agent? How did this illegal industry happen? How can we take precautions so that this does not continue? We have been very, I would say, sir, sympathetic and solicitous to the predicament of people going. So I do not want the House or the public to have a wrong understanding of how they were received. They have come through a very difficult experience. They were misled by agents. I will come to the action issue after this, sir. Then the question, sir, I think one member raised saying, the numbers went up after 2016. Sir, I was very bureaucratically correct. I took a single source.
Sir, what is meant by bureaucratically correct?
Sir, which means I followed a bureaucratic database to ensure that I gave before the House a very similar comparable number from the same database.
So, sir, as a healthy practice, let everyone follow the bureaucratic practice.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Now, sir, what I do want to say, actually, if one looks at the Homeland Security data, sir, the Homeland Security, the American Homeland Security Department has a report about aliens removed by criminal status and country of nationality. For India, actually that number is 860.
I allowed indulgence. No, what is this? You are not listening to the Honorable Minister. No, I am so sorry. Please. Honorable Minister,
yes,
I'll be careful next time. I'll be careful next time. Take your seat.
Sir,
Honorable Minister.
Homeland Security Department data actually shows prior to 2014, their numbers, American numbers were actually close to 1,000. The numbers I have given, sir, as can be seen in the statement, are from the Bureau of Immigration. In many cases, possibly because if they were not issued emergency certificates, they may have been treated differently. Maybe they went to some other country. So I would say we should look at this in a overall manner rather than try to make clever points about which year was a little higher than which year. Then, sir, the issue came about military aircraft being sent. Now, some other members also raised, have military aircraft been sent before? The procedure, sir, is we have looked at deportations for the last 15 years. It is up to the authority of the Immigration Customs Authority to charter an aircraft. It could be a military aircraft, but whichever aircraft comes in, it is under the authority of the ICE. The procedure, whether it was a military aircraft, whether it was a chartered aircraft, was exactly the same. Then the issue came up, sir, was there advance notice given?
Only what the minister says goes on record. Please go ahead.
Advance notice was given. The advance notice was given, and there was consular access done. We had checked all the procedures. Then, sir, the issue was raised, do they have property? We are not aware that they have property, but if they have anything, we will be responsive to that. We do not, sir, have data on illegal immigrants, and the issue about student visas being cancelled does not apply to immigrants. Thank you, sir.
Beautiful. Shri, well, all we can say about the statement of the Honorable Minister is he has been very comprehensive and responded to all issues raised. Shri Abdul Wahab, 5 minutes, not present. Shri Ramji, Sanjeev, Acha, you are there? I missed you. Sri Sanjeev Arora will resume to make his address for next 3 minutes.
Sir,
3 minutes.
when my point was interrupted, I was at out-of-pocket expense, which I have already taken care of.
Shankar, and he responding to those questions saying that nothing new has happened as far as this deportation is concerned. Let me bring in at this moment Ashok Sajanar, former ambassador, a senior diplomat. Thank you, sir, for joining us. We also have Asutosh Mishra, senior journalist, who is joining us at this moment. And Prabhloj Singh is a political analyst who is also with us at this moment. Thank you to all three gentlemen for being with us. Ambassador Sajanar, let me start with you. And what do you make of the statement which has been given by the External Affairs Minister? Because there are some opposition leaders, those who raised the point about the fact that the way and the manner in which this deportation has been done, that raises concern. It demeans the people, those who have been brought back.
Well, thank you very much, Ankit. You know what the minister has said, and I think what was reiterated by the chairman of Rajya Sabha, the vice president, he said that the response of the minister has been very detailed and very comprehensive, and it responded to all the questions that were raised by the honorable members in the Rajya Sabha. And what he has made, the point he's made is that the deportation that has taken place right now is exactly the same manner in which deportations earlier have been taking place. There was no difference at all. You know, there was the question raised about whether a civilian aircraft should have been used or a military aircraft has been used. And the minister has made it very clear that this is a choice for the sending government. It is their prerogative, and they do that. But of course, the matter is taken up that, you know, whatever is done should be done in a humane manner. You know, whatever little I saw on the television screens last evening when the aircraft came in and when all these people who had come in, they were trooping out. I don't think any one of them had shackles or had handcuffs or anything of that sort. So I don't know where this information has come from. Maybe, you know, it has come from the earlier cases of a few of them. When they were sent to Colombia, they had shackles on and they had handcuffs. But I didn't see anyone coming out of, you know, the current C-17 aircraft. So I think the minister was very clear about it.
Okay.
That, you know, there are some issues about the property which will be gone into. But otherwise, the procedure followed now is exactly the same as the procedure that was followed earlier.
Okay, very quickly, sir, in brief, are you telling me that, you know, every time deportations take place, the people are handcuffed till the time they touch their home soil?
No, not at all. That's the point I was making, that in our case, I don't think that any one of them was handcuffed or shackled. I did not see any one of them coming like that.
Okay, because some of them have made the point that they were only unshackled once they landed here in India. We will have to wait and you know, verify what these people have been saying. But very quickly, Prabhloj Singh, you know, the minister says that, you know, let's not get into which year, how many deportations. The fact is, it's a procedure which has been followed. Are you satisfied with the answer that the minister gave in the Rajya Sabha?
Yeah, Ankit, you know, first of all, in all fairness, we must understand that this is an issue of illegal migration, illegal immigrants. So to begin with, the people that have been brought back, they broke the law of that nation, right? So in the first place, there are people who broke the law of a foreign country, and that country decided to tackle with them in the manner in which they decided to tackle with them. So they sent them back to India. Now it is their prerogative which plane they arrange to bring them back to India. And by the way, rather than illegal immigrants lying there in jails in US, it is way, way, way better for their future to be back in India with their loved ones and with their families. And India is full of opportunities now.
Well, let's not get into the debate of why these people left, whether there were opportunities or not. That's a very different subject that we will be getting into, because there are a lot of questions that also come out from the fact that people have been leaving, and we can argue on the numbers. But Asutosh Mishra, let me understand this from you. The only problem, or at least the opposition is raising the problem that yes, deportation will take place. If you illegally enter a country, you will not be a chief guest there. You will have to be sent back to your country. We are sending people from Bangladesh back, those who have been apprehended. But the fact remains, in comparison to few other countries, this is what the opposition is saying, whether it's Colombia or Mexico, the way our people have been sent back, handcuffed, their feet shackled, that is something that is unpalatable as far as the opposition is concerned.
And Ankit, you're right. In fact, Jaishankar's statement was more that of a bureaucrat rather than a politician who is understanding the questions being raised by other politicians. It's actually all this noise that you hear is because Trump tom-tommed that he is going to send back all the illegal immigrants. He is trying to make a show out of this. And in the process, some Indians are getting insulted. If the foreign minister thinks that it's all right just because they were illegal immigrants, then I mean, that is a bit hurting to many Indians. That if, as the politicians have been saying, if small countries like Colombia can stand up, why can't you?
Okay.
Your people, if they have migrated illegally for whatever reasons, it's okay. You, as the other panelist was saying, they were there illegally. But that does not mean that you can treat them in such a way which is demeaning for them.
Okay.
If India had this information, then we should have... Now, Jaishankar said one thing, that they provided consular services to people who asked for it. Now, there might be most of these people who are migrating illegally won't even be aware that these things can be accessed to.
I think there is a little bit more clarification that is needed. We will have to wait and see of the procedures and the process, but I'll have to take a very quick break at this moment because we've been continuously on what the proceedings in the Rajya Sabha has been. Gentlemen, thank you. A quick break, coming back, stay tuned.
Family life. It's made of ups and downs, and those little moments. But should the unthinkable happen to you? Life insurance from Legal & General can help look after monthly bills, the roof over their heads, childcare costs, and most importantly, your family. Because no one protects more families in the UK than us. Premiums start from £5 a month and they never rise. Plus there's a £120 gift card after you apply. Legal & General. Ensure life goes on.
I've been thinking, I want to plan my funeral so it feels more like a celebration. My parents always said I was born dancing. I just love it. Bhangra, disco, even line dancing. So when my time comes, I want to have music, dancing, the lot.
With over 150 years' experience, you can count on Co-op Funeral Care to help you pre-plan the funeral you want. To find out more, visit Co-op Funeral Care or give us a call.
Well man and well woman, the UK's